In chapter 43 of Emma, the Box Hill picnic outing falters when people separate into parties. The Eltons are one party. The Westons and Mr. Woodhouse are another. Mr. Knightley stays with Miss Bates and Jane, while Frank, Harriet, and Emma form their own party. On top of all this, Frank's bad mood totally infects Emma and brings her down. While the parties attempt to mix, there seems to be some kind of unspoken fundamental breach that cannot be mended. This picnic shows that social gatherings are symbolic of community cohesiveness, and everything goes wrong at Box Hill because friends and neighbors are harboring secrets and unresolved animosity. The Eltons are still very angry at Emma and Harriet. Frank and Jane are continuing what seems to be a very nasty lover's quarrel. Frank begins openly flirting with Emma, and she responds to him mostly because she feels terribly out of sorts. Emma senses that his flirtation has no meaning, but she's unaware that he's using her as a weapon. Frank exchanges angry words with Jane, inferring that he didn't really know who she was when he met her in Weymouth, and that he was perhaps mistaken in falling in love. At one point, he demands on her behalf that each person say either one thing that is clever, two things that are moderately clever, or three things that are dull. Miss Bates immediately says she will say 3 dull things as soon as she opens her mouth. Emma can't resist and says, "Pardon me, but you will be limited as to number, only 3 at once." The Eltons walk off, and Frank says they are lucky that they suit one another, as it is not easy to tell a person's disposition when two people meet only briefly before marriage, saying, "How many a man has committed himself on a short acquaintance and rued it all the rest of his life?" Jane answers, there is time to recover from it afterward. Miss Bates's feelings are hurt by Emma's remarks about her dullness, and she stammers and sputters in awkward shame. Before the party breaks up, Mr. Knightley scolds Emma in strong terms for her cruelty. He tells her that to show such disrespect to an elder who suffers so much adversity does her no credit. He chides, "I would not quarrel with you for any liberties of manner. Were she your equal in situation? But Emma, consider how far this is from being the case. Her situation should secure your compassion. It was badly done indeed." Emma is immediately remorseful and begins crying when she gets in the carriage. In chapter 44 of Emma, Emma visits Miss Bates the next day to make amends for her behavior and finds that Jane is sick and will not see company. Miss Bates tells Emma that Jane has decided to take Mrs. Elton up on her offer of a post in the family of one of her acquaintances. She also learns that Frank has gone back to Richmond. Emma begins reflecting on Jane's situation versus Mrs. Churchill's and the huge power differential between them, and of the piano and all the nasty conjectures she has made, and she feels ashamed.